Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Unified ge wara haas episode ka huriha befronas marhaba. Me Unified ge salis first one episode. Miyadu ge episode haasawani miyadu algonda ekko studio ga mitibbevi guestun ge sabun ehenkamu den algondu me episode kuriya gendanis ingeresin. So without any further ado, let's start. So today with me here two special guests. If you would like to start with an introduction of yourselves. First, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Nadi Al Nouri from Malaysia, one of the steering committee members from Global Sumut Flotilla, and also working in Cinta Gaza Malaysia, which is an international NGO in Malaysia. And I lived in the Gaza Strip for 10 years, married to a Palestinian and part of the struggle and the resistance of the Palestinian people. Thank you for having us here.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for receiving us and for giving us the opportunity to talk to the young people of Middle East. It's an honor to be here. My name is Saif Abu Kishik. I am a Palestinian. I was born in Palestine and grew up in refugee camp in Nablus city. And I have been living in Barcelona for the past 23 years. I'm proud father of 3 kids and on the steering committee of Global Sumut Flotilla, working with my colleague Nader and other colleagues from different countries.
Yes. So both of you mentioned being in the steering committee of Sumut Flotilla. What is Sumut Flotilla?
It's a good question. People see it from a different perspective. I always try to say for everyone, for us, Global Sumut Flotilla is a catalyst movement. It is a space where people come together to do the unimaginable, where we break the chains of our minds and think about the impossible and try to achieve it within our solidarity and our stand with the just struggle of the Palestinian people. So it is a coalition of different movements from Southeast Asia to North Africa to Europe to Latin America, from every part of the world, bringing people together to organize in many different methods. The most remarkable action that we have done last summer was to sail to Gaza in the biggest mission to break the siege.
Yes.
We present this work as a collective global movement, internationalist building process against all forms of repression, centering Palestinian cause, as we believe it's the main pillar of a global movement, and it is the perfect example for this imperialistic approach into world, people and resources. So it's not only sailing with ships, it's a long process.
Yes. In the process of breaking the siege in the Sumut Flotilla, we saw little clips in the social media, but what was the biggest challenges you guys faced before the flotilla and during the flotilla movement?
I think one of the biggest challenges was doing such an immense project in a short amount of time. We actually did it in about 2 months.
Yes.
All the preparing, all the buying of the ships, all the coordinating of the thousands of people involved, going through all these countries to get people on board, meeting with the NGOs, fundraising. So when you think of it, that's quite a big accomplishment done by the global people of the world. And then when you went into the process itself, it was endless meetings, it was endless talking to people, it was endless coaxing people to give up their seats on the boats because everyone wanted to be on the boats. And I think the next mission is going to be much worse in terms of having to face all that again. But this time around, we have been given the opportunity to plan it for a much longer amount of time. Not much longer, it's an extra 1 month, I think. But we have learned a lot of lessons from the past. And to give you an idea of how big or how many people are trying to get on the boats, We didn't even open the registration yet, and we have 150,000 people
Yes.
who apply to be a part of the mission. And we have to say that that is a possible number to accommodate on the boats. But it's not just, as I've said, getting on the boats. You have things you can do on land, you have things you can do in the comfort of your homes. So yeah, we are looking forward to another ride
Yeah.
to the next mission.
Yeah, thank you. And just now we talked about the Sumud flotilla. Saif, you are Palestinian. In your lifetime, what was the biggest difficulty you faced, and was it because you are Palestinian or not?
Well, I think Palestinians, especially if you carry a Palestinian ID, it is a continuous struggle. I was born in a refugee camp. I grew up there, so my first challenge is to survive and to deal with all Israeli violations. I saw my dad being arrested as a child. I was shot myself by the Israeli soldiers, so detained on checkpoints. Every time I tried to go to Palestine, and that was before 7th of October, I was being detained at the border. So this challenge is it's unmeasurable, and also it's not comparable of what people are dealing with right now in Gaza and in West Bank and outside Palestine. Also, it's important to acknowledge that we live in a corrupt political system. Yes. Where people are being discriminated against because of where they come from, because of the passport they carry. So when I used to travel around as a Palestinian with the Palestinian passport, I get stopped at all borders just because I'm Palestinian. And then now that I have a European passport, I don't have the same problem. Or when I have it since we organized the GSF, because of all the propaganda that has carried, and also because political systems, they are scared of people who dare to challenge. But I'm not treated the same. So this discrimination is different than being because where I come from with the Palestinian passport, regardless, and now I get stopped because of what I do. So I'm fine if this is the price that we have to pay to be able to organize and to create this platform that is supporting just causes and challenging oppression. It is a price that we are all paying, and we keep saying and we keep repeating that this work that we do, the challenges that we face, the repression that we face, it's nothing compared to what's happening in Palestine. We are not the story, to be honest. We are not the heroes. We are not the ones who are suffering. We are not the victims. What's happening in Palestine is unbearable. The intentional starvation of 2.3 million Palestinians, of kids, of women, the destruction of hospitals, the continuous pumping. Even after the announcement of ceasefire, more than 450 Palestinians have been killed. And nobody's talking about that.
Yes.
The intentional restriction on aid that is supposed to enter to Gaza, the intentional restriction on the reconstruction process, the control and confiscation of more than 50% of Gaza Strip right now. All of these are things that Palestinians have to do with, and it's absolutely nothing compared for us being stopped at an airport or interrogated or hassled. I mean, that's nothing compared to what they have to deal with. So yeah, discrimination comes in so many different forms and colors, and I believe that when we decided to go on this path, we of course acknowledged that there is a price to pay at the end. And I think Palestinians are the ones who showed us this path. They have been paying, as Palestinians, we have been paying a hefty price for the past 80 years. But we have been paying it for freedom, for rights. It is very important for people to be clear on this. If we truly want to change the world, if we truly want a just society, if we want to change the face of our humanity, that doesn't come free. Nobody is gonna come to knock at our doors and say, hey, we are delivering a package of rights for you. No one. And if we look to history, if we look to current social movements everywhere, For workers' union, if you want to improve salary, if you want to improve main income, if you want to improve work conditions, you strike. You organize strikes and you protest. If you want to make a pressure on to achieve any civil right in any place, you mobilize. So imagine what you have to do to get rid of a colonial occupation that has been trying to erase your own existence since the beginning. You will have to push back, you will have to struggle. And if people decide to stand against injustice in any place, not only with the Palestinian people, it is understandable that there is a price to pay. And it's very important for us to mentalize that this price is nothing compared to the price that people who are dealing with the situation. And it is very important to make sure that we are growing as a movement. Because at some point, if they target 1, 2, 3 persons, they imagine that they can stop the process. But right now, this is a catalyst situation that people are moving from every place. My colleague just mentioned how it was the preparation process. We had 44 countries coming together to participate in the flotilla. 2 months before that, we had 80 countries traveling to Egypt to try to break the siege. 4,000 persons on their own accounts coming from so many different places. We had the countries of North Africa marching through land to try to reach. This is a moment where the whole world is standing together. So what is going to happen to us, the discrimination we face, we are inspired by the resilience of the Palestinian people, and we are confident that this is a movement right now that includes people from all parts of the world, all ethnicities, all faiths, all color. It's unstoppable.
Yes. You mentioned 40 people from 40 countries coming together in the last Smooth Flotilla, and we saw lots of boats getting close to Gaza, but didn't reach Gaza. But in the interviews, you guys mentioned it as a success. Why do you think it was a success?
I think the name of your podcast sums it all.
Yes.
How we are moving and we are managing to unify all these different races, different peoples for a common cause. It's not about only reaching the shores of Gaza. It's not about bringing humanitarian aid. It's about working as a whole to move against a whole system that is trying to colonize not only a piece of land, but also the minds of the people, of the youth in each and every country, and especially the Muslim countries. We are seeing in front of us a very scary picture of what the future holds for our children. We are seeing that what happened in Venezuela can happen to all the other countries.
Yes.
We are seeing that these countries are not being held to account for any of the international flagrant violence of international laws. So someone has to do something, and at the moment no one is doing it. The jobs of the governments, the job of the people in power are not sufficient. We always say that the governments give good statements opposing Israel and talking in solidarity of Palestine, but we say statements is just consisting of 2 things. It is a sound and it is spit. So it is quite useless when you give out statements but you don't take actions on the ground. So that is a job that we had to take as the people in our hands, and we managed to move the masses. We managed to get a lot of changes. The European countries, the solidarity, and in Muslim countries who are just watching as spectators in what others were doing. And yeah, I think it can, for Malaysia, for example, for Malaysia itself, with a people of 30 million people, we got from one TV channel during the flotilla mission more than 350 million views for the mission, and in the whole world itself we got billions of views and people following us and wanting to be a part of it. So yes, breaking the siege is one thing that we hope to achieve. Opening a humanitarian corridor is another thing that we hope to achieve. And this time around, inshallah, in the GSF 2.0, we have better strategies, we will work better, we will pressure better and more, so that we will achieve that mission of arriving to the shores of Gaza, inshallah.
So in this campaign of you guys to help Gaza, to provide humanitarian aid, what was the most emotional moment both of you faced separately, you and Nadir?
Well, I was in the last leg of the mission in the operation room in Athens, and the moment the interception started, the way that people on the boats acted, for me it was so inspiring, because we as Palestinians, we have been dealing with this for a long time, to be honest, and our way of approaching risk and danger is a little, it's different, because we understand that this is an occupier that is committing crimes, that is violent, but we have to push back to achieve our rights, and it just becomes part of our day-to-day life. But for people who have never done this, who have never confronted army, who have never been civilians in sailing or facing an armed soldiers, that we know for a fact they have absolutely no respect for human rights or for international law, and they can commit any crime because they don't care, and because they have been supported by international governments and complicity of many institutions around the world. When the first interception happened, the communication that we started to have with the people on the boats, it was like a sea battle, literally. That the resilience and the intention to continue regardless of what's happening in front of them and wanting to reach to Gaza was undescribable. For me, it was, I think, during the mission period itself, is the most emotional part, because we were checking on them through our communication channels and asking, how are you doing, how is everything, and they would answer, we are totally wet, because the soldiers were attacking them with water guns. We are totally wet, but we are totally determined to continue, and we are pushing forward. And then the lead boat get intercepted, and then the one after will say, I'm taking the lead and moving. So none of them was discouraged by the attack of the Israeli soldier. None of them was discouraged by even some boats were directly pushed by other Israeli boats that they were trying to physically attack them, pointing gun at them, and they are moving forward. So it was a 14 hours of interception, the longest that so far happened, and that insistence, that determination for them to continue, for me, it was amazing to see. And then on their return, when they were deported illegally from occupied Palestine, and meeting them at the airport, on different airports, people who were just released, the first thing that they were saying, we are ready again. Whenever you ask, we are ready. So I think we have managed to bring the resilience, the sumud of the Palestinian people into the souls of the world. We created this common ground for us to build a movement that is based on the resilience, that is not afraid to challenge. And almost all of those people that have sailed with us, they are right now involved in activities for Palestine. They are involved in actions for Palestine. And many of them are involved with our ground teams right now preparing the next mission. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I've been living in Gaza for quite some time, and I've lived through wars. We have done many projects and campaigns for the people of Palestine, but none has reached the level of attention that we achieved when we did the Global Sumud Flotilla. I remember when we were starting off in Barcelona, the events that Saif and his other comrades were planned there and executed there. we came out of the tent where we were being given information of what was going to happen next, and then we left the tent, and there were thousands and thousands of people on each side of the road. We were walking like down through a red carpet, and the people were chanting Free Palestine and Palestine Hurrah and singing Bella Ciao, and you were feeling that you are the James Bond of the movie. You are like the superstar of things that were going to unfold in the near future. And it's very good that you managed to make people feel that you are doing something great, even though you may die on the way, you may die in the mission. It heightens the support of the people for Palestine, from just giving funds, spending their money, spending their energy, to be willing to give their life for the purpose, because we had to sign, exemption forms that if you die, GSF will not be responsible. That is your own responsibility. You have to do. You have to take care of your own children, and we are not going to give you any compensation. But all of those thousands of people who are willing to do that, and it's not about you being the hero, but it was that people were willing to pay that price, and all of these thousands of people were supporting you and pushing you forward and showing that you are so special, that you are given that opportunity to represent all of us. So after 10 years of working in Gaza, 12 years, I said, wow, finally we have reached this point where people are actually looking at the Palestinian cause, and people who fight for the Palestinian cause are held in such high esteem. And that is, of course, by we say the blood of the martyrs in Palestine, the suffocation that they are facing, and that is the price that they paid, and Allah is giving them rewards.
Nadir, you mentioned GSF 2.0. Can you expand on it?
Yeah, I think Saif is better to spill the tea.
Yes.
Yeah, here you go.
I think one of the reasons that we have what we have today goes, we have to give the credit to Brother Nadir, because he kept pushing us. He kept saying, if we want to sail again, what are we doing differently? If we are just increasing the number of boats, so what? I mean, what is the remarkable part? What is that thing that is really different? How we can justify just bringing so many boats and so many people together and trying to go through the Mediterranean to arrive to Gaza? It cannot just be about breaking the siege. I mean, we have said before that we want to break the siege, but it just cannot be that element again. And he is right. Trump and Netanyahu brought a plan to the world that is based on the continuity of genocide and on the slow forced displacement of the Palestinians who are in Gaza to leave Gaza. They claim that it is about ceasefire. They claim that they want to allow the reconstruction of Gaza, but the reality on the ground speaks totally the opposite. As we mentioned, people are still being bombed. Yesterday they bombed the whole building with the families inside in midnight. So these crimes, these violations, the genocide, the occupation is trying in all means to continue their aggression and violence against the Palestinian people. And the world is complicit. The silence that we see today since the ceasefire was signed, I believe the ceasefire was intentionally announced to calm the civil society pressure that happened everywhere. It was not only showing Israel in its right form, it also caused pressure on governments. And so it was a mutual interest to say that there is ceasefire and nobody needs to protest again because Palestinians are not being bombed, etc. And we cannot allow for that to happen. We cannot allow for those corrupt political powers to present a plan for us as this is the right process to reconstruct Gaza. We have to do it as a civil society because the political system is still failing. So we said we are not going to base this on only breaking the siege. We want to stay in Gaza. Our main objective is to participate with the Palestinians in Gaza in the reconstruction process. So it's not only about bringing more boats and sailing. It's about bringing much, much more boats and staying. It's about actively participating in the reconstruction. So we have an eco-builders boat that will bring experienced people with materials from many parts of the world to participate on the rebuilding of schools, homes, hospitals. We have a hospital, a floating one, a big boat that comes as a health mission, will carry thousands of doctors, of psychologists, of nurses from all over the world, also to support the health system in Gaza. We have teachers boat that will be bringing materials for schools and will be bringing teachers to support the education system in Gaza. So our aim is to bring together more than 100 boats, to bring together more than 3,000 people to try to break the siege, to enter to Gaza, and to participate actively with the Palestinian people in the reconstruction process. So as our colleague Thiago says, it's not Trump, it's not Netanyahu, it is this international solidarity movement that is standing side by side actively with the Palestinian people in this reconstruction process.
This interview was possible because you guys came as a delegation of GSF to Maldives. What do you guys hope in this trip, and what is your message to the Maldivians, especially to the youths of Maldives?
Well, I mean, first when we tell people that we are in Maldives, people think that we are closed ourselves in a holiday in a resort. But as you can see, they have been working us out from 8 in the morning to 10 in the night in meetings and in interviews. And I think this has been for me a very educational trip, because it's not only us talking about Palestine, it's also see the work that they are doing on the ground. Speaking about Maldives and where it's located and people in Maldives, you are surrounded by water from everywhere. So my colleague yesterday said that our understanding for this context is people have sea experience by genes, genetics. It's we say that as Palestinians we are born to resist by default. So like we and you born to sail by default. So Maldives, as every nation on the world, as every individual, they need to stand to defend those values. You need to stand because we want a different humanity. We want respect and justice for everyone. So we expect also land mobilization. We expect to continue pressure because the Zionists are trying to infiltrate everywhere. They are trying to influence the politics of every country, and they have no respect for international law. So if we don't stand today to protect and defend those universal rights, it's going to happen that they will come to your own doors and they will be violating your own rights. And this silence will be replicated with silence. So we have to make sure that, as my colleague always say, it's yes, we are trying to break the siege, but also we are breaking the silence, actively breaking the silence. So people also here can do that. They can do the simplest thing of, distributing pamphlets about Palestine, about the situation. Make sure that there is media pressure. Make sure that there are no genocidal products coming to Maldives. I saw yesterday an important sign, big one in the streets, that talks about boycott of Coca-Cola and their complicity. So these types of campaigns make sure that no Israeli soldiers are coming to take a break in Maldives after coming from killing Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza. So this, we have to do it as vigilantes. We have to be active every day. There, we cannot take a break. We cannot just say, it's okay, we can relax and then mobilize again. This mobilization has to be ongoing. It will be beautiful to see a boat sailing from Maldives. It will be beautiful to see some of our boats that are sailing from Europe carrying the Maldives flag, and also have Maldivians coming to sail with us. So to do and to expect, there is a lot. And of course, to be able to organize such a big mission, it is Very important to get the collaboration and donations and support from everyone to make it a successful and to be able to organize it. So also we count on civil society to do this work. And after we are done with all of this, as a Palestinian, I'll be very happy to welcome all Maldivians in a free Palestine, inshallah.
Yes. So I hope this trip becomes successful for you guys from Maldives. And thank you Saif and Nadir. Mirege mi khasa unified episode misawan nimadan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.